Okay, we're live.
Good morning, guys. Saturday, 10:30. Short week, but what a week. Okay, look at what's been going on. And it's not in the ones that we used to talking about. Used to talking about the big names. Look at the week in NVIDIA. Look at the week in Apple. Look at the week in Google, Microsoft. Those aren't the names anymore, guys. The stuff that we've been looking at for months, more than months, half a year, up to a year. Commodities, resources, mainly metals. Once that we thought has been in a range has been energy. What's been going on so far this year? Energy's in a range, metals the same thing. Remember I was saying, metal, oil's in a range, metals are on a mission. I think you got a perfect example this week, but we still think we're getting close now. Okay, we've been keeping people posted, especially with something like gold and silver and platinum. And we say we think we're in the fifth inning, sixth inning. Well, I think gold and silver, or even platinum a little bit, are getting up to the seventh and eighth inning now, which means we think there's going to be a big move coming next week or two, and that'll be it for a while. It'll become untradeable. Do what you have to do. What we're going to try to do is get out of everything and then watch it breathe. Now, if it continues to go, fine, but it'll be just wild. It'll be like a wind gust that you can't tell. So you don't want to do it. Let's go to some charts and explain exactly what we're talking about. The price of silver. I did a video on this. It belonged to the group, and you could hear it in my voice. I never thought in my lifetime that I would be saying silver is $100. Well, it is. It's actually $103, $104 as we talk. Look at this, guys. We've been making videos on silver. Forget, we've probably made maybe 24 videos from June on. If you remember, in June, we made a special video. So, guys, this is the sleeper. You're not going to believe what's going to happen. And then we made an adjustment when we got up to here. We go, forget about the sleeper of the summer. This is the sleeper of the year. And then look what happened from there. And we made some more. We said, guys, there's going to be $5, $10 moves, pullbacks, and they're going to wind up being traps. There was a trap up here, pull back down to here. There was a trap over here, pull back down to here. Okay? What it does is it gets everybody that's in the hype, they get caught, and you can't withstand a $10 pullback. Silver used to be $20, $30 for decades. So you can't have a $10 move in a week and withstand. So you wash them out. Then our last video that we made about silver, we said this was the washout right here. Okay, down to here, you washed out some people. So you had this, you went down to here. Now you clean people out. Now we can just keep going. And what have we been doing? We just keep going. But the thing is, now the speed is going to change. And this is a little different. Okay. No one can compare this to anything because it's never happened before. This is an all-time high. The only edge I think we may have is that maybe I got 4 to 4.5 decades of experience. So I kind of understand when the speeds change in silver, how to make the adjustment. A lot of people, you make the adjustments after the fact. I think we're a little bit more proactive than reactive here. What's going to happen now is this is going to be, it's been the murmur, the global murmur of the planet for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Now it's really going to come. The crescendo is going to get very loud in the next 2 weeks. And we think it's going to have one of these parabolic moves up, and then that's going to be it. And then it's going to be untradeable, and you can breathe. So you see this speed? Okay, this is nothing. We think the speeds now, I'm just going to use an example. If we were down here, so assume this is this. I think the speed's not going to go like this. I think the speed is going to go like this. Okay, just put this up here. And then you're going to see everybody say, I got to be in. It's going to be a mania. It's going to be a FOMO. It's going to be a crypto move similar to that, all that little mania. And then it's going to be over. And then I think you're going to see untradeable. And as people are going to say, okay, well, it's up here. So, you know, it's up here, breathes down here. I got to get in. And then look out. And then it's going to wind up squeezing people out on the downside. Usually a squeeze is something on the upside. I think what will happen here in the next 2 weeks is silver is going to keep going, and it's going to get squeezed on the downside. Okay, the price of silver here, there's a lot of financial reasons why it's going to be hard to sustain up here. Okay, and I'm not going to explain it here live on social media, but there's financial reasons, margin reasons, refinery reasons, the plumbing of silver. Okay, and it's going to take a lot of work by the time people figure it out. I'm only figuring it out because I've been doing this forever. Okay, so it's a little bit of a difference. I see I'm talking a lot about silver because now is when people can get caught and can get blown out here if you don't watch yourself. So that's silver. Oil. What have we been saying about oil for the last year? Oil is in a range. Okay. Where has oil been for the last year? In a range. 55, 65. We don't think anything is changing. We do think we got a shot to see up to 65 here, because down here, what do we do constantly? We've been doing this for 2 years now, more than a year. When oil gets down here, we buy oil, we buy gasoline, we buy ExxonMobil equivalent oil equities, and we keep trading the range, and we're going to continue to do that.
We have questions about the energy market here.
Yeah, let's get it going, because we got so much to talk about.
Do you do anything different with the storm coming that you don't already do? Heating in your region is natural gas or heating oil for the north.
That is so priced in already, guys. What happened in natural gas? I'm glad that's the next place I was going to go, was natural gas. Okay, this is natural gas. Okay, if you've been following us, you've seen our video last week. We made a video and said, guys, we couldn't be more confident that this is the bottom in natural gas. Okay, everything, we called it the perfect storm for bearishness in natural gas. The slightest thing can make it bounce. Okay, this was the largest 3-day up move in natural gas many, many, many years. Now, this move was because it stretched. This move was because of weather. This move is not weather. Okay, and if you belong to the group, we explain why. If you don't belong to the group, you think this is because of the storm, you think of because of the cold. This is not what this is. That's what this was. Okay, so that's all priced in our opinion. So you got to watch yourself, because now natural gas is not going to become tradable until what I think comes off the board. That's the difference. That's the difference in people looking at it here, saying it here, and buying the storm up here. Buying the storm up here was not. We were long natural gas. Okay, we got out of everything. We sold. I'm going to show you what we had on. We had on UNG, not my, what I have on myself, but the group, we all kind of agree on stuff. We sold all of our UNG right here. So we're out of natural gas. We don't think that natural gas maybe can continue a little more on a hype, but we think natural gas up here is a little bit dangerous. We're going to put it on if there's a pullback. So that's what we think about natural gas.
All right, let's go. We got other questions about other commodities here. So how about we look at next one, cocoa.
Cocoa. That's all I knew I'm going to be asked about cocoa. We think it's the same exact setup as natural gas. Now, I've been buying cocoa starting here. Okay, and I think these are extensions down, and I think this is exactly, I understand the reasoning, I understand the calendar, I understand what's going on. I understood exactly what this trap was. This was beginning of the month trap that set up everyone, and we avoided. We said I would not be in that trap, so they got caught. Then you got producers that are pushing, because not pushing, they have to get stuff done, so they're speeding it up, so that any bounce here is not going to have that selling. So we think this can do what natural gas does, and the slightest bit of bullishness can have this thing snap up. We like cocoa, with holding on to cocoa. Okay, I think we're going to wind up being okay.
All right, our next one. Let's talk about, nailed it on UNG. Thank you. That was from Rick.
Good. We all nailed UNG, so it worked out nice for us. And we're out of it. We have no UNG. It goes higher, it's not with us.
All right, next one. How about we talk about gold?
Gold. Gold is the same idea as silver, but remember what we talked about. Gold and silver used to be precious metals. They're not anymore. Silver is a speculative precious metal. Gold is an alternative currency. Very, very different. They got gold approaching $5,000. Another thing, never even crossed my mind to even put it in my vocabulary. 5,000, but this is uniform. And gold's been doing this for a while. Sits and then makes its move. Sits and then makes its move. Sits, and I think it's making its other move. So I think gold's another one in the next week or two that can start to go parabolic, and that's when you got to cash, and then that will become untradeable too. I actually think these are going to be, they're bullish now, but they're going to be traps when you come back in a couple of weeks. You're going to say, we're here, but we went all the way up here, and a lot of people got caught on the top. So I think gold's the same thing. It's in the middle of its next move.
Okay, let's see what other questions we have here. A lot of people are talking about our PLG stocks. Is that something you want to go
Okay,
over?
we're going to talk about it now because people have been asking us on here on live about this sleeper that we had on. Okay, now you got to belong to the group. I'm not getting about something that we really like a lot over here. You got to join. So everyone in the group has had this sleeper on. We bought it at the beginning of the year. We bought it 4 times this year. That's how much we like it. PLG. Okay, this is a way of us getting what people think is platinum exposure, which in my opinion, it's more palladium exposure. So we bought it 4 times. Okay, we bought it the first day of the year. Wherever the first day is, we bought it here, we bought it here, we bought it here, we bought it here. Look what happened yesterday. Finally went. What do? We traded 20% of our positions. We sold 20% literally on the close right here. Okay, so look at that. We think there's more room. This is one of our sleepers. So how cool is that? You buy it 4 different times and you get a move like this. Don't look like much. You're buying it at 230, you're selling it at 350. Do the math on that. That's pretty cool. And we think there's more legs coming. So this was our sleeper. Now the point I'm trying to make, if you belong to the group, we put these sleepers out. We've had a few sleepers over the last year, and I'll show you a couple of them. We got another one that's warming up right now, and I was talking about it early in the week because we had a shortened week, and quietly it's up 30%, and I'm sitting, oh man, but if it sets up, doesn't make a difference where you get it. I think it's going to snap. So if you belong to the group, we put these sleepers out. That's one of them. Okay, how cool is that? I'm pretty sure because I know I put a lot, and all the people are doing is looking over my shoulder. And I think everyone has this on. So we were all smiling yesterday. We had one on last year that was a nice 10x for some of our members. AREC. I just got to find, there it is. Okay, this is one we had on last year. Same thing, same time of the year. We put it on at the beginning of the year, right around here, 50, 60, 70, 80 cents. So guys, when it starts to hit the nerve, you'll see it bubble. But when it bubbles, there's a lot more coming. So we've seen it bubble. We said, hang on, just hang on, let it hit the nerve. And it hit the nerve. We sold it all out here. We had members call and saying, I can't believe I just made a 10x on this. I'm sitting there going, they said you gave us this sleeper beginning of the year. So we put it on at 60 cents, 70 cents, 80 cents, and they sold it between 6.5 and 7. So these sleepers, they set up nicely. The edge is when they work, not to give it away here, not to give it away here. Think about it. You buy something at 70, 80 cents, goes to $2, $3. Well, that's a nice little score. No, the way I was taught how to read markets is that's the setup, that's the launching pad, and that's what happens, and that's when you cash. That's the same thing that's going to happen, I think, in PLG. Okay, the same thing. It's setting, setting, setting. Then you got the first. Let me clean this up. I'm going to give you a little bit of an analogy what I'm looking at. Okay, PLG, same thing, getting going, and then you have this. Okay, which looks fantastic. Well, we only sold 20%. I think one of these are coming for PLG, and then we let it go. So the sleepers are working, and like I said, we have a new one with the group. You got to join the group to find out what it is.
All right, next one here, Mosaic, MOS.
MOS, we cashed out this week. We cashed out yesterday. Okay, we had an MOS on. We bought it the first day of the year. Okay, bought MOS here. Bought it I think we bought it 3 times. We bought MOS. Sold one piece and sold everything out yesterday right here. So nice little trade for 3 weeks. Buy it here, sell it here. If it pulls back to an area, we're going to buy it again. But we want to trade. We think these are trading environments. We're overall, which I'm going to explain to you, not bullish in the overall market, stock market, as of yesterday's close. We actually are bearish. So that's another reason why we cashed a lot of stuff in.
Tom Ninja is saying, you keep saying group. What group?
What group? Well, you'll show it. RNTR.trading. That's the group. The group has grown exponentially. Okay, you want to become a member, you could join. We'll show you how to join in a little while. You don't have to listen to me. Listen to some of the group members. I'm sure a lot of them are on here right now.
Yep, there's a lot of members here.
Good. Well, that's, we communicate nonstop during the week. I can't believe you want to look at me on a Saturday, but okay.
One of our members, Turo, is asking about sugar.
Sugar. This is one I think it's going to take a few weeks, and I think it's going to work. Okay, I like sugar. Okay, we put it on twice already, right in this area. Okay, something's going on in commodities throughout the month that I think people they look at it, they see it. I don't think they understand it. I've been doing this for many, many years. What happens in January in commodities, and I think this is one where sugar is digesting what's been going on. And you come back here in a couple of weeks, and I think it's going to pop. I like sugar down here.
All right. What do you think about physical platinum?
Physical platinum. Okay, I don't. That's probably going to be the next one to get on people's radar screen, but it doesn't got the history like silver does. Okay, and the price of platinum is too cheap anyway. Price of platinum should at least be the price of gold. It's half the price. So I think platinum is the next one that's just going to keep going, but not straight up. I think you're going to see some turbulence here. You're going to see the same thing. It's going to get the hype, and people think if they can trade platinum like they trade gold. You can't. They're these are apples and oranges. But people say, oh, platinum, gold, same thing. They're going to find out the hard way.
All right. Next one here. Thoughts on FCX?
Freeport. I'm not gung-ho up here, guys. I know the price. People talking about copper. It's a story. It's a story. It is a story. But I think it's already priced in. So I think copper you got to worry about here. Okay, copper it's getting turbulent, which makes me tend to think when turbulence happens, the traps are setting up. And I think a trap here in copper is being long. So if I think that's a trap, then I think Freeport is one that can pull back. I think you got to watch yourself here. It looks like it's off to the races. I don't think so. I think you got to watch yourself here in Freeport. I think this is a trap up here. If I'm long, I don't have a position in it. If I'm long, I would be looking to get out in the next couple of days.
What are the main areas that you trade in the market?
Main areas?
Sectors.
We stick to commodities and resources. Okay, something I've had experience in for over 4 decades. Okay, if you know how I look at it as a gauge, if I make or lose money in the wheat market, the copper market, the gold market, I can explain it. Okay, if I'm in these tech stocks and you're in Apple, you're in Nvidia, or if you're in Amazon, no matter what the story is, the analysts have the same story. No matter what the price is here, that's a story. If it moves down here, it's the same story. If it goes up here, it's the same story. You know my way I prove it? Sometimes earnings come out, blow out earnings, and then some of these stocks will lower. You go ask an analyst, oh, the earnings are good. I don't understand why this is happening. Okay, so you can't explain it. So I don't want to be in a group or a sector that I can't explain why I'm losing money. If I lose money in wheat, if I lose money in cocoa, if I make money in silver, I can explain it. So I stick with something I've had experience in for over 4 decades. I had the best teachers. I was in the largest commodity shop on the planet when I was before I retired from Goldman Sachs. So my hands have been in every commodity down to knee deep. So I kind of understand them a little better. So I stick to those sectors.
Okay. Next one here. How about we talk about Valley, VALE?
Valley. This is the stock that we love. Okay, think about it. We've had it on. Okay, we cashed everything in at the end of the year, but a lot of the group, we said, do not cash these in. Valley is a cash cow, and it pays you to be long. And look at it now. How cool of a ride is this, guys? You know, we've had this on forever, years, okay? And we never blinked. And then they're paying you 10% dividend. The dividend's actually a little cheaper now with the price. But look at this ride. Have you ever had to suffer? No. This company knows how to make money in up markets and down markets. This is an amazing stock to own, Valley.
We have some people asking about COP.
ConocoPhillips, cashed it in. Okay, we had that in, went to a beautiful spot. The same reason, because we're looking to take risk off, we cashed in our ConocoPhillips. Okay, think about this, and went right to our spot earlier last week. We bought it here, and then we bought it here, and we got the pop, and we sold it out here. I think Conoco is going to sit in it's a little. I'll make this nice and neat for you guys. Okay, and I think Conoco could sit in a little bit of a range here for a while. So we're going to trade the range. So if it gets up here. So we're out of Conoco. If it pulls back, we'll look at it again. But I think you got to trade this in the range. We cashed it in.
All right, next one here. Hecla Mining.
Hecla Mining. If you call, you hear this silver hype. You say, I want to be long some silver. I want to be long some silver stocks. So you call your broker, you call your portfolio manager, someone who manages your money. Say, I want to buy some silver stocks. They're going to name 2 stocks. They're going to name Hecla. They're going to name Coeur d'Alene. So you're going to catch this hype. So that's what's going on now. Hecla is just a straight line up. Enjoy the ride. Look at this. Enjoy the ride, but watch yourself. Trying to get in up here, I think it's dangerous. If you're not in from down around here, you're playing with it. You're literally flipping a coin up here. So watch yourself, because this is one that's going to get the public hype. And it can just keep going, and people are going to say, I got to get in, I got to get in. And if that music stops, this is coming down sharply. If you're not in it now and you're looking to get in now, I think you better look at it 2 or 3 times before you make a decision.
Next question from Johnny T. He's asking, what is the reason for trimming this week? Because were you spooked by the yen?
Yes, not spooked. Oh no. Yes, you're looking at the right idea. I think the yen is telling us a lot. We haven't looked at trading a currency in a year and a half. Yesterday morning, early in the morning, and we were looking at it Thursday night. We said, guys, we're going to be looking at a currency that could really dictate a lot or tell us a lot. We wanted to buy the yen. Think about it. We haven't traded currency in a year and a half. We wanted to buy the yen yesterday. Look at the yen move. Okay, talk about nailing it. Okay, we think this is a precursor. It's telling us a lot. We don't think it's a spook. We think if this continues, then you're going to see some unwinding. And it's not as massively crowded as the carry trade was a couple of years ago, but we think it could take the steam out of the market. And we think overall, we think the stock market is going to have a down week. We think I was kind of waiting for February for the market to start breathing in the stock market. I think this is telling us it might be a little sooner than I was talking mid-February. I think this is telling us the stock market's going to breathe. That's why we took a lot of risk off yesterday.
Mad Rose is asking about how to be prepared for next week. Sell everything?
We did yesterday. We sold a lot of our positions. So why would you ask on a Saturday when we were looking to do it on a Friday? Okay, because if it comes in lower, then the market's going to say, that's okay, we're all right. And if you get another wave, then you get uncomfortable. So think about it. Yesterday, come in Monday, if the market is lower, you're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to sell a bounce. What happens if the bounce don't come? Then you say, I'm going to hold on a little longer. Next thing you know, what you should have sold on Friday is going to be down here and you didn't get anything done. It's just my opinion. I think next week is going to be a down week in the stock market. And
all right.
Pretty aggressively.
Crypto Nidus is asking about opinion on LEC.
LAC?
Yeah, Cryptonitis. So sorry, I said that wrong.
Yeah, but LAC?
LAC.
LAC. We think all those sectors are getting flows, but we also think that's another one where if the overall market turns, they're going to turn too. So we think that'll be risk off also. Okay, LAC's had a nice run. We were going to buy it at the beginning of the year and didn't. Look at that, would have been a nice trade. But if this would have been one yesterday with the group we have, if I'm looking to a bearish stock market next week, I would have been selling I would have been selling lithium. I would have been selling rare earth. I would have been selling, I don't know about uranium yet, but I'd be selling those out. So I would have been selling this yesterday.
All right, next one, USAR.
Rare earth, same thing. Okay, that's what we're talking about. We think that's beginning of the year hype. We think it's got room, which it shows. But it's another thing, if the market is going to turn, the overall market, we think this comes down very sharply. Right now, no reason to just ride the wave. But if you think the overall market's going to turn, this is going to be a hard thing to go higher with the overall market going lower.
Okay, next one, palladium.
Palladium, we think, is getting ready to become untradeable. First of all, you can't trade palladium, okay? They call it appointment only, okay? But we think palladium is super cheap, and if it starts to get even and slightly bit on someone's radar screen, it's going to keep going. We love palladium, and look at it now. We think it's getting ready to go. Palladium was our home run commodity last year, and we don't have it on now. We have it on through, in our opinion, is that PLG stock that we just showed you. We think palladium's got a lot of upside.
All right. What are your thoughts on crypto right now?
Crypto, look at them. They're lagging, okay? And I don't think they're bearish. I just think they're getting stale. And I also think besides Bitcoin is a staple. I think the other cryptos might be rotating out of some of those. And you know what? I think people that are in Ethereum, XRP, okay, that was the flavor. Now the new flavor is called stacking silver. So I think people might be coming out of those and migrating into a different kind of way of having that kind of a view. I think people are selling XRP, selling Ethereum to buy silver stacks.
Okay, are you interested in sharing any of Guy Adami's stocks? I see here in the comments here.
No.
Okay.
No, you have to belong to the group.
All right.
Okay. Guy Adami, let me tell you something. If you follow Guy Adami for the last year and a half, 2 years, you should be on vacation for the next year and a half or 2 years. He's made the most unbelievable calls. And I don't you need me to say it. Okay. The proof is in the pudding. Guy is there. Belong to the group. Every Thursday we get a Q&A with Guy. Opens up with his ideas. Believe me, what we do we're going to have a new profile on Q&A on Thursday. It's usually myself and him, we talk. I think the right thing to do on Thursdays is I just shut up, put the mute button on me, and just listen to Guy. He has been on fire for almost 2 years.
All right, next one here. How about we go over, we haven't seen this one in a while, CENX.
Century Aluminum, same thing. I think you got to watch yourself here, because if what I think is going on, where people are migrating out of the U.S., meaning global, getting out of treasuries, I think the dollar will be next, then anything that's U.S. based, which is Century Aluminum, could be getting to a top here. Okay, so that's what I'm a little concerned up here. I look at this like I look at Freeport, the same thing. Okay, it looks like it's going to go. This has been a home run. You know, we've had CENX. If you remember a few years ago, we had CENX at $8 as our biggest trade of the year, and it was. And look at it now, it's $48. But we think around here, you got to watch yourself, especially if the dollar starts to pull back. That would give the impression that commodities should go higher. I agree. But then you got to watch yourself on what equities. You say, well, fine, aluminum will go higher. Century Aluminum should go higher. Watch yourself on these. I actually think these are getting a little toppy.
All right, next one.
These are curveballs. These are all curveballs that I'm bringing out right today.
Would you sell your junior silver plays when they are still trading at fractions of the reserve?
The fractions of the reserve. Okay, now you're starting to do some science. You think you can figure out things that other people can't figure out. Watch yourself here. Okay, we do think these equities are cheap, but we do think there's a blow-off parabolic move coming. Then everything is going to breathe. If silver explodes and then starts to come lower, you think silver equities are going to hold up? I think they could breathe a little. You would never see me going to go short. Okay, that's something, you know, that's kind of in my religion. I don't go short silver.
Next one here from Dalla Cucina.
You know,
let's review wheat.
Wheat. We cashed in our grains yesterday just for a trade, but we think these sectors are very, very cheap. We just think we could buy them back. If you remember, we made videos on wheat. Look what happened. We caught the pop. We sold them everything out in the close yesterday just to cash in. That's Chicago wheat. There's different grades of wheat. Kansas City wheat, same thing. We sold everything out on the close. So the trades work nice. Okay. We plan on getting back in, but if the whole board can go red, we can buy them again cheaper. That's called navigating, which is what we think you got to do at least for January and February. You got to do some navigating. So we just taking chips off the table. We'll show it to you in the performance. You know, we haven't been super aggressive. Watch where we stand.
All right, next one here. Netflix.
This is something we bought. This is something Guy Adami liked. So that's the reason why we're hanging in there, because I don't remember last time he gave us one that didn't work. So he likes Netflix. He said, give it a few days after earnings and it can start to bounce. Well, after earnings, you can see it went from here to here. So give it a few days. So we're giving it a few days. This is actually a decent close. The only thing that concerns me if the whole market is red, then I'd be surprised. It'd be hard for this one to go higher. But if I'm wrong about the overall market, then I think Netflix is going to go higher. I'm long Netflix because I like it. And then when Guy Adami likes it more, that gives me a little more confidence.
Let's see what the next one is here. Food processors.
Yeah, because we like the grain market. You know, we trade fruit processors, but they've exploded, so we're not going to chase them. You know, the one we had them on last year. We said alternative ways to be long grains is a food processor or fertilizer. So Bunge is the one we traded a couple times last year. Look at it. Look at it straight up. We've been saying this. If the grain sector is right, food processors are going to go. There it goes. So we don't have that on because it's run away from us. So that's why we had Mosaic on. The only reason we sold Mosaic because we think the market's going to breathe. We're going to put fertilizer right back on.
Next one, JetBlue.
JetBlue, we cashed in. Okay, that's for a trade. We're looking to put it back on again. If you remember, we bought JetBlue. We waited patiently for, this was the area. And we bought JetBlue. Belong to the group, we bought JetBlue right here. We waited and waited and waited. What do we do? Up here, because it got too late. I'm going to draw another line for you guys. Look at this line. That's not straight. What do we do with JetBlue? We belong to the group. We sold everything right here. So we caught from here to here in a week. If it pulls back to an area, we have another area set up. We're going to put JetBlue right back on. This is how you can navigate, make some money. Why? Because making money like this goes into the till, goes into your bankroll, and gives you more to play with when you see something you like. So that was a beautiful, the whole group. Well, I know I'm pretty sure the whole group, because we were pretty adamant about it. You're looking over my shoulder. We bought it here. We sold it all here. Nice trade.
Next one from Gunny. SBSW.
V-Man. SBSW. Our double home run trade last year in equities was SBSW. It's platinum and palladium. Okay, now, right, this is actually getting a little toppy too, but you're never going to see it. Either you get out, but look how it extends. If you remember, we had this twice last year. We were all in here, sold it here, went all in here, sold it here, bought it again, and then sold it up around here. So we don't have this. But a lot of the group still has SBSW. We love this stock. We love this stock. But keep it in mind, this could be one of those parabolics and then breeze, and then we'll look at it again. But if it starts to go parabolic, there is no, I don't care. Anyone will tell you. Listen, anybody's going to tell you how to trade parabolic. Do yourself a favor. Hit delete, because there is no formula. You just got to you got to put your blinders on, say, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing at this point, which is fine. But you got to be structured. Sell a piece, sell a piece, sell a piece, sell a piece. And that's what I think can happen to SBSW.
All right. Let's see. Next one here.
Same uranium sector. Okay, uranium sector is holding very well. Okay. I still feel like it was going to breathe, and it's not breathing, which makes me tend to think you got to watch yourself here. But this is another one. Okay, look at this beginning of the year. Look at this move. How cool is that? You come in here and you got this nice move up. But my opinion is, if the stock market does breathe and gets red, then how are these going to go higher? That's what I'm concerned about. My overall view of the stock market, maybe it's skewing my thinking, but I'm just worried that if it's true, then this is getting, because all you've been hearing about is uranium. You got to get in, you got to get in. So for the last 2 weeks, this made sense. Initial year flows. This is people get me in, get me in, get me in. So if it gets crowded up here, you got to watch the breather. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right, Joe. So it's been a couple weeks since the start of the new year. How about we show our profits so far?
Well, let's go. Okay, very quickly. Okay. Now this was, you belong to the group or you watched us. That's how much we made last. This isn't, this is real stuff. We made 344%. No bells and whistles, true thing. But you know what? That's last year. That's why I'll put it up for 10 seconds. If you belong to the group, you'll follow us. You know that's real. This year, brand new year. Okay. That's where we're up. We're not up 25. We're up 20. Okay, because we have this is on closed positions. We're up 20% on the 24th. 3 weeks into the year, we're up 20%, and we have not been aggressive. Not telling you, and I think the group will tell you too. Sounds like you're being a little cautious. Not cautious. You want to start properly. But meanwhile, we're up 20%. If you're up 20% in the first 3 weeks of the year, keep doing what you're doing. I know one thing, we have not been nervous in any of our positions, anything we have on. You can see what we're doing. We're not a lot of trades. We're sticking to what PLG. We're just telling you, we bought it the first day of the year. You can see the trades. We're not making this up. Bought it on the first day of the year. Okay, 238, trading 347. And we didn't sell any of that out yet. We talked about fertilizer, talked about wheat, crude oil, a stock that we bought, another one of my under the radar stocks. We cashed it in, made some money. You can see the greens are profit, the reds are losers. Okay, soybeans, crude oil, gasoline, Netflix that we have on now, natural gas. We caught the natural gas, guys. Okay, cocoa. This is what's hurting us right now. But you can see 40 trades. Now it's not 40 positions because we don't trade like gamblers. Okay, we have balance. So we'll trade 2, 3, 4% of something we like of our bankroll, and then if we like it, then we'll add 2, 3, or 4% more. So it'll cause 2 or 3 trades, which is part of that number. Okay. 20%, 3 weeks in, and not aggressive and not really looking for trades. I think we can just keep doing this for a while. Okay, it's here.
All right, guys. If you're interested in joining, because I see people in the chat, how do I join? Put join in the chat. Type out join in the chat, and we'll show you how to join. We'll also show the Discord where we show our trades and our trade alerts.
RNTR.trading, guys. Okay. Letter for letter, because a lot of Fugazis now trying to get cute. I guess they have figured out it's not that easy to make money, and we're finding a way to holding up. Okay. You contact us. We don't ask you for money. You contact us. You want to join, we get back to you with a link, with a mail, with an invite to our Discord chat. That's how we do things. That's how we keep things secure. Okay. That's the way. This is what you pay. I mean, think about this. You can quit anytime you want. Okay. I'm going to show you what you're going to get with this besides our ideas You get Guyadama, you get a midday clip, you get trade alerts, which is going to show you on our Discord chat. Think about it. You try it for a couple of weeks, you don't like it. What it cost you, $50? All I know is anyone has been joining in the last, let's say from October to now, I don't think anyone has left. Okay, we've grown exponentially. Why? Because we have a different style. Our style is so different than others. We are not reactionary. We don't trade reactively. We are proactive. We miss trades, no problem. Do you see that board? There's a sea of trades out there. So we have no problem missing trades. We don't chase. We are patient and we are balanced. And it's been working. We're not going to change our style. Okay? And we trade things that I can understand. The point I made earlier. If I lose money, I can explain why I lost money. Many people, if they lose money, can't explain it. They're looking at TV or social media to figure out why they lost money. I know why I lost money. I know why I made money. That's what I want to stick to.
All right, we got some questions here, guys. If you join, you're going to get access. We're going to send you an email. You're going to get access to our Discord. So, guys, write that down, take a screenshot, RNTR.trading. All of these plans, they're just built differently, but they're all the same. They're all inclusive with all the same type of services we offer. So, guys, if you have any questions, put in the chat here. Okay, and let's transition to the Discord. Let's show you guys the Discord.
This is what you guys get. It's a Discord chat. Obviously, look at all the things that come with Discord. On the radar, trade alerts, futures alerts. We have the bots, which is I'll explain in a second. But this is what goes on. Okay, all week. These are my opinions. How come we're not moving? There we go. Okay. You know, look at this. PLG. We just happened to be talking about PLG. Okay. Good navigating. What we do yesterday, Mosaic, ConocoPhillips, UNG, all the ones that we sold out. Look at this. Just happened to do it. You know, a good gauge, this is the group when you see the thumbs and the muscles and the hearts. So, you know, we've been had a nice little run here. This is the way we go over things. We have a comment in the morning, big comment. We go over everything we're doing. This is all yesterday because we were pretty busy yesterday. And the day before, we were pretty busy. Okay. That's what we do. When we trade, when I trade, I let you know ahead of time. Okay. I've watched a lot of sites. Okay. The person who's running the site goes, you know what? I'm selling my position. I sold my position here. You guys might want to sell it too. You know what kind of crap is that? How about telling the group and work as a team? We do it different. We do it as a team. I said there, guys, I'm looking at Mosaic. Okay. I give everybody a heads up. And then within probably a minute or two, if everything falls into place, I say, okay, guys, I'm selling all my Mosaic. So the whole group can do it as a team. Okay. Well, sometimes we didn't. Remember we talked about the yen? Said the first time we looked at currencies in a year and a half, we were looking at yen futures early in the morning. Okay. We talked about it the day before. Look what happened with yen straight up. Okay. Conoco, MOS, PLG. We're looking at PLG. Okay. I give everybody a heads up. This is the end of the day. Then I tell them exactly what I'm doing, the price and everything. All you're doing is looking over my shoulder. Sold 20% of PLG. Okay. I just showed you the chart. So this is how we do things. We trade futures. Okay, we trade a lot of futures. I got a lot of commodity experience. I try to implement it, whether it's commodity futures or equities. I give you the same exposure. But the only thing different, you want to trade commodity futures? Okay, you're going to look like this. See the bags under my eyes? Well, I'm going to show you why there's bags under my eyes. Because once in a while, you got to get up. Okay, 6 a.m. We have worse than that. We have 4:30 a.m. We have a few of them in here. Okay, we take advantage of the time zones. We 5 a.m. Okay, cocoa trading something like that. Okay, this is what we do. Same setup. We're looking at sugar. Okay, we're adding to our sugar position. You see what it is right here. Okay, looking at the natural gas. But we sold out the natural gas. We sold out our natural gas on the 22nd. So that was a couple of days ago. Sold out of it. See, we give you a heads up and we do it. Look at the spots. This is how we do things as a team. As a team. Another thing, if you trade bots, okay, if you're a bot trader, Joe Bot, a young man to create an algorithm, part of our team. Last year, up over 100% trading bots, which in my opinion is harder to do than what we did last year. That's on top of the 340% we're up. If you trade all bots and us, you have 340% plus 105% that you made last year. Okay? If you're a bot trader, you know how hard that is because these are all singles. Very different style, okay? Very analytic, but it works. If you're making 100% trading bots, continue what you're doing. If you're uncomfortable or you're making a lot less, you may want to look into this. The trades are right here. Okay, you get comments and you get the trades. Everything is here. And the last one, Apple short. Okay, and I'm just going up and down. Okay, but this is how you get what's going on with the bots. It works. Guy Adami on, let me figure this out. Thursdays. Got Guy Adami, who we talked about. He's a mid-unconscious. We have a Q&A with him. You get to talk to him live. The guy is in a major network. Okay, he's a spokesman for many large firms. He's got insights. He's got more experience than anybody can imagine. I sat next to him 30 years ago. That's how much experience the guy goes. We sat in the same trading room together. Okay, midday clips come out every day because we're traders, we're not investors. So our opinions at 7 a.m. are a lot different at 11 a.m. sometimes. You know, we make a lot of our money, it's trading. You know, we also use examples, reversals. So sometimes you have an opinion going all the way up to 11, 11:30. Oh, I'm watching some signals here. Want to turn. That's what the video comes out. 1-2 minute video gives you an idea. It's like a halftime meeting. This all comes with the group. That's all part of Discord chat.
All right. So, guys, if you're looking to get on board with Discord, our website is RNTR.trading. Remember, this is our only website. There's a lot of imitators and scammers out there that will message you and ask you to join us. We will not ask you to join us. We'll not message you to join us. We'll not ask you for your money or ask you to join a certain broker or platform. That is not us. Okay? You message us, we'll message you back, but we'll never reach out to you. Same with Discord. If you're on our Discord, once you're onboarded, we will not message you for anything unless you message us. The number one thing is, if you want to get in contact us, you message us first to know that we're legit. Okay, there's a lot of people with those fake accounts, those scam accounts that look just like ours, because anyone could make an account look like yours.
When you're doing okay, everybody wants a piggyback. So we use this as protection, and it's been working. Okay, so at least you know you're covered. Okay, think about it. Who's making these kind of numbers? It's not even making the numbers. It's the fact that everyone in the group has been comfortable. These markets are out of control with news that is so sensitive. I don't think once last year, and I don't think this year, anybody in the group has been uncomfortable with our positions. So how cool is that? You're not uncomfortable, which means you don't make impulsive decisions, irrational decisions. We're balanced, we have patience, and it works.
All right, guys, we have questions here. Anyone who put a ticket in Discord, that will be responded to today. So you get a response today. And your emails, you get a response today. Anyone after this live, we're going to onboard you. If you joined us, we're going to set you up, contact you, and we'll onboard you. Okay?
Crazy not to do this, guys. Even just for a few weeks and see what we are. Beginning of the year, we've been quiet. We put on a few trades, and we did nothing for a few days. And I'm sure a lot of the new people who joined for the New Year's is, what am I doing here? And then what happened? Yesterday was Friday, and Thursday and Friday looked like a fire drill, nonstop. Busy, 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 busy. Clap your hands, we're up 20%. Okay, that's when we take advantage. Patience works. Finding the trades, finding opportunities, waiting for them to set up. That's what we do. That's the difference. That's the different style. It's very different than any other style. We are traders. We are not investors. You have to give a little bit of commitment. But if you can make a commitment and make 300%, you make a commitment the year before, made 100%. You make a commitment, you're up 20% the first month. It's a lot better than making 5% a year in the S&P for the last 25 years, because that's all you've collected when you do all your math. So you either want to commit or you want to be passive. Passive is probably not for you. But if you want to give a little bit of effort, it's not a lot of effort. You just follow and just be prepared when we're looking to trade. All you're doing is looking over my shoulder. But look at what you get. Okay, you're trying to make this kind of money. It takes you years, decades. We had someone, you go look at marketwatch.com in September. They came to us, want to do a piece on us. They did. We had a man who retired from his electrical business. Been watching over my shoulder for years, so I'm going to do everything that's over the shoulder. In 8 months, he made enough money to buy his sons and his grandkids and his kids a summer house in Florida. I just talked to him recently within the last few weeks. He can buy another one. All he's doing is looking over my shoulder. So you get to your goals a little quicker. That's all that it is. Think about it. We're doing all this for a reason, whether we're doing it to get to our goals or we're trying to get to the people who we love's goals, right? What are you looking to do? What do you think I do? I'm sitting here, I'm going to take, if I get $100 in my pocket, I'm happy. Anything that I could do, I know where that's going to my kids and my grandkids.
All right, we got some questions here on starting out with RNTR. How much money do you think they should start their account with?
Best questions. Equities, you can start with $1,000. If you trade only stocks, you can start with $1,000. If you want to trade commodities, you want to trade futures, you need more because these are margins, these are levered. And then if you get to a margin call, then numbers are going to affect the way you trade, not the price, not the thought that you have. So you got to give yourself room. You got to give yourself enough room where the dollar amount doesn't make you nervous. Okay, but we have many people start with $1,000. My opinion is you probably need $5,000 to start in equities, and you probably need closer to 5 to 10 to start in commodities, just to have it in the account so it doesn't blur your thinking.
All right. Next question. Can you explain, join the group, can you explain how JoeBot works? Is JoeBot extra on top of the angle?
Yes, it is. It's a separate subscription, okay? And return 100%. If you're asking about bots, then you know what bots are. Okay, they're analytical trades. They give you parameters the minute you put the trade on. You're risking this to make this, all risk reward trades. They have trailing stops and they adjust accordingly. Made 100%, but it's a separate subscription.
All right. Let's see here. Several friends of mine. Oh, this is Rob. Several friends of mine have joined. One started his account with $2,500. Another was $7,500.
Is that Rob?
Yep.
Market Watch Rob?
Yes, it is.
That's the man I was talking about. One of the nicest persons. I'm glad I got to talk to him because of the article, because you couldn't ask for a nicer person. And when you hear what he did with it, it makes you feel even better.
Let's see here. What percentage of your portfolio would you keep in cash right now?
Why? Well, I always try to keep my powder dry, but there's no percentage. It's a moving target. When there's opportunities are there, we use it. We use leverage. We use margin. So there's no number. Everything's a moving target. If you think there's a formula to this, you're the guys that are making 3, 4, 5%. If you think there's no formula and you wait and have patience, and then when it's time to go all in, which you try not to do in this environment, when it's time to take advantage, you do. So there's no formula to this.
All right. Let's see. If there are any other questions here. I think we're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Wild markets, guys. A lot of green. Our opinion. We think next week there's going to be a lot of red, at least in the stock market. We think the market is turning. We thought it would be a few more weeks from now. We think it may be starting next week. So be prepared. So being prepared is get yourself to where you're comfortable. A lot of people right now might be all in or too much in. Do you want to be all in this market? Maybe you do. Maybe it keeps going. Believe me, I've been wrong so many times. But if it isn't, then you say to yourself, ooh, I have a little bit too much on. So rather than wait for that to happen, do it this weekend. Look at your positions. Say, you know what? If the market drops, do I really want to have all of this on? And if you're not, get yourself into a comfortable spot. This way, if there is a pullback, say, that's okay. I prepared for this. You prepare. You don't become, like I said, we try to be proactive, not reactive. I think that works.
All right, guys. I think we're good.
Okay, we're back here Wednesday at 8:30. And then we're back here Friday at 8:30 and then next Saturday. Now, if something crazy happens, we'll put out a quick promo and say, guys, maybe Monday or Tuesday, we'll make an 8:30 quick live like this. Okay, if we do any impulsive lives, they'll most likely during the week, they'll almost all the time be at 8:30 a.m. But for right now, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30. Watch yourself this weekend. Keep your ears open and your eyes open for what happened on Friday is setting up for next week, especially Sunday night and Monday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.